Hello viewer, welcome back to Let's Play Back to Saturn X. I, as always, am MAP19, and this is Bingo Pool Hollow Blood, map 19. And a difficult one at that, and a different one at that too. As you can tell, this does not seem like any other map we've seen so far. In fact, I'm thinking that this is probably not even intended to be an episode 1 map. Probably a scrapped episode 2 map that they thought was too easy and just stuck in here. But what do I know? I'm not in the dev team. Either way, this map is pretty short and pretty painful. And I played pretty terribly here because I played this at excuse me, 4 AM? Yeah, somewhere in the morning. That wasn't good. That wasn't smart of me. So despite this level's short length, it's going to take me a bit to actually complete it. Either way, this map is actually pretty nice. I like it. It's frantic and it's difficult, or at least it was when I played it. You know, of course, everybody has different skill levels. Keep that in mind, but at least when I played it, it was difficult and it was frantic. And I like that. It's a nice change of pace. And it has a very open design. There are places where you don't have to go, and oh boy, do they love to use archviles. Ho ho ho. They just absolutely adore their archviles in this level. So yeah, expect to see me die a lot. Yeah, gameplay wise it's frantic and the design is nice and open and big and it gives you a lot of room to maneuver, which is nice. It's almost slaughter mappy. Almost. Not quite actually. But you know what I'm trying to say. You're picking up what I'm putting down, hopefully. Either way, I just got finished. Well, not finished with the whole, but I got finished recording about 4 hours of gameplay from Equinox for my review. And basically, I just decided to finish up what I had started, which was this map. And, well, let's just say I regretted it, because it was late, and, well, it was early, technically. And I was tired, and I'd been playing Doom for a while, so... And I don't know what it is. I'm not one of those people who can just sit down and play a game for a long time. Like, maybe I'm not a real, actual gamer, because I cannot just sit down and play a game for hours on end. It's just not in my... It's not in my, my mentality. You know? I get bored. I sit down to play a game, and, you know, I'm playing through a couple levels. I'm like, oh yeah, one level, that's good. We'll just end it for today. If I play any longer, it feels like, it's starting to drag, so... Except for certain games. Like, if it's an easier Doom WOD, then I'll... Like, if it requires less effort, then I'll just keep playing until I get tired of it. If it's Duke 3D, I'll keep playing regardless because I love Duke 3D. If it's Quake, I probably won't because I've played through it a bunch. It depends. But yeah, visually, this map is strikingly different, as well as in gameplay, but visually it seems to use a lot more gray and red and purple than before, which is what leads me to believe that this is an episode 2 map, or an episode 3, I guess. I'm not sure quite which one is which, like what the themes are supposed to be. Apparently episodes 2 and 3 have a lot more variety in them, so there's not themes per se. But yeah, they use a lot of purple in this map, which I approve of because I absolutely adore the way purple looks in this WOD. And it looks great in this level. It gives it a real sense of kind of like a almost a dystopian kind of city kind of feel, like with the tall buildings and the many lights. Feels like Blade Runner. Not really. Blade Runner was a bit more not square. Well, actually, But yeah, it feels like one of those you know, dystopian future kind of cities, like Blade Runner or 1984. But not quite 1984, because I am in fact shooting monsters with a rocket launcher as a super buff marine from space. In space. Yeah, this gives us an interesting look at what might be to come. Or at least I suspect it does. It uses a lot more cavernous, rocky textures and less tech-based. Although even the tech-based textures they do use, they use a lot of, you know, metal and bricks as opposed to just plain metal. So yeah, we'll see where this theme goes if it's explored any further in episodes 2 or 3. Keep in mind that we are still playing episode 1 of Back to Saturn X, which is odd, but whatever. Fun fact, this is actually my 3rd attempt at recording this commentary, as I'd been interrupted both times before. But yeah, I think I take way too long in this level for my own good. I mean, there's not much you can really say about it. It's interesting to just discuss, you know, how different it is, but all that really amounts to is it's different. There's not much else I can say about it for sure, because I don't know what episode 2 is going to be like, and I don't want to know what episode 2 is going to be like. I don't want to spoil it for myself. All I know is that they use a ton of archviles, and I disapprove of archviles. Not because it's bad, you know, gameplay-wise, but because who doesn't hate archviles? It's the kind of enemy you love to hate. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, not really too much going on. The design is really kind of open and a bit easy to get lost in, to be honest. Which is cool. It reminds me of Downtown from Doom 2, a map which I liked and nobody else does for some reason. I don't know why I like Downtown. It's because, I guess it is because it has like that open kind of you can go anywhere you want design, which I always thought was cool. By the way, this is the first time I pick up an Invulsphere here in Vulnerability, and god damn does it look super cool in Back to Saturn X. I mean, I like how they changed it from blue to white as opposed to black and white. It looks so much better. It's easier to see and it's easier on the eyes, and I just love it. And it reminds me of hacks, and I keep saying that things in this WOD remind me of hacks. Maybe it's because it's a partial conversion, and honestly, the texture styles kind of do look alike, I think. But, you know, it does remind me of... By the way, that... I should have saved that Invulsphere for later. That's all I'm going to say for now. But, you know, it seems like the kind of textures have a softer feel to them than in Doom 2 and in Doom. Kind of like hacks, which also does. But I say that about the Invulsphere effect because in hacks, or at least if you're playing in Z-Doom, it turns the palette straight up blue. Everything you see is going to be in blue if you play in Z-Doom. And by the way, I reload the save just to get more health out of that supercharge, which I think is kind of dumb. I'm not sure why I did that. But yeah, more health, woo! This music track is also pretty cool. It's doesn't get annoying ever, but and I think this is kind of a thing with fast-paced music tracks like this is sometimes they tend to get annoying because they're often very repetitive. You know, they have a fast drum beat and there's not much variety. It's just, you know, da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. But this one I think is pretty cool, and it's also different. It also feels different from what we've been seeing, like you know, kind of moody, melodramatic piano music, kind of atmospheric, you know. And this is more actiony, you know, bass-driven, and you know, techno-y kind of a feel for the soundtrack. Now again, I'm no musical expert. I'm just saying the soundtrack feels different for me. See, they use a lot of that purple, which I really like. And that's why I think it's an episode 2 map, because in the pre-release screenshots for Back to Saturn X, it was going to be, I think it was going to be like all 3 episodes in one WAD or something, because they included the screenshots with all the different skies and stuff, and through many delays I guess they later changed it up. It's kind of lame. You know, I personally would have preferred, you know, if they just put the best levels they could in each of the episodes and just kept it, you know, not too long, but it's fine the way it is, I think. You know, I kind of like how they take the time to kind of drop you into episode 1 and let you kind of get used to it before going into episode 2, I guess. It's cool. But yeah, these textures I saw going with the what I presume to be the episode 2 kind of city sky, I think is what it looked like. And it was a cool looking sky too, and I was disappointed that we weren't going to see it in this just yet. But it's coming. Oh, it's coming. And those looked like some of the coolest maps too, so I can't wait. But yeah, this map was actually not in the original release of Back to Saturn X, Episode 1. It was actually updated, it was actually introduced in the updated version of Episode 1, which was released specifically for this Doom World Megawatt Club playthrough. Which seems to be a thing that people tend to introduce, kind of a special version for the Megawatt Club. I did that, I think. Well, I bug fixed. I put some fixes in there just so it wasn't as shitty. Actually, no, I think that release for the Doom World Megawatt Club of Interception, my WAD, also included updated maps 1 through 4, so, which was nice. I enjoyed going back through and seeing how I could crank up the difficulty, although people started complaining that now it was too hard. So I guess I overdid it. But this is not about Interception, which I probably will be, you know, giving kind of like a post-mortem a look at in the future. This is about Back to Saturn X, a far superior WAD. In fact, I would say that this is more along the lines of what I was trying to go for with Interception. I was trying to go for a more kind of atmospheric, story-driven WAD. And it was supposed to have all sorts of cool shit and neat locales and interesting environments, but it never quite got to that level. And probably because we all kind of... I feel like there were conflicting opinions on what was going on. Like, nobody had... There was only a couple people... I think one mapper who made an Episode 2 map for Interception that kind of shared my idea of what the underground city would look like. Which a lot of people And I kind of want to save this if I ever do a post-mortem of Interception, but let's just say that, you know, it wasn't supposed to be exactly a hellish underground city. It was actually supposed to be kind of futuristic, like Blade Runner. In my head it was. But everyone was doing these kind of lost ruins, temple, you know, ancient kind of Hell City maps, so I just went with it, because it was fine too. And something you might have noticed in Back to Saturn X is that the sky actually does change. While it looks similar, it does get darker, and as the WAD progresses. And this fucking part right here gave me a heart attack. And I remember saying to myself that was the end of it, and that I was going to kill myself, because there was no way I was going to be able to do this. Spoiler alert, I do, but not without a lot of deaths. This is what I should have saved the Invulsphere for. So, if you like Archviles, this map is straight up your alley. And it sucks too, because I'd also, not even an hour previously, I'd been playing Equinox, which I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but if you have played Equinox, you know there's a certain level with a certain affection for a certain enemy that's pretty vile, if you know what I'm saying. But nonetheless, we are almost at the end. I just go to look for some health, so I'm going to just give my closing statements on this map. It was good, it was fun, it was frantic, it was different, it was a nice change of pace, even if a bit unfitting. You know, I like the music, I think the visuals are neat and interesting, because we haven't seen this before, and the open design really lets you kind of roam around and get adjusted to the locales of not Saturn X, because apparently I was watching the Saint Alfonso's, you know, live streams. I think it's Saint Alfonso, I don't know. Alfonso's live streams. And I was watching it, and apparently this episode takes place on the moon of Saturn X. And that's why you can see Saturn X in the sky. Should have put that together earlier, but whatever. Either way, we are pretty much nearing the end here, so overall, good map, good soundtrack, interesting, nice sneak peek at what's to come, and there's not much else I can say. I enjoyed it. But that'll do it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next map.